Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3 of Ask Carl, where you guys can ask me any guitar-related or, life-related questions. I still have to edit a lot of these down. Like I said before, I don't really answer requests in this. It's just, common questions. And I might start doing this live. YouTube has asked me if I would do this live, so it might be something that I'll consider doing in the next episode. So I'll let you guys know before that happens. So maybe you can just ask me questions live. I can do more questions that way. Let's get to the questions. First one is, Carl, Steve asked, do you have any pets? I do. Let me show you guys my pets. Come here, Charlie. Charlie, come here, girl. So this is Charlie. She's a little bit camera shy. She's a sweetheart, though. She's kind of a Rottweiler mix. She's a little rescue that I got a few years ago. She's pretty cool, and she's not raising her head. Look up, Charlie. Yeah. What's up? Yeah, there you go. So that's Charlie. Here, Chaplin. Come here, Chippy. Here's my other little rescue mutt. Come here, buddy. So this is Charlie, and this is Chaplin. And nobody knows what Chaplin is. We're thinking some type of an Airedale Terrier mix, and he's stepping on my pedal board now. You're adding too much compression to the signal, Chaplin. Anyway. So they're both rescues, came from the same rescue, but I love them to death. So these guys hang out with me every single day while I am figuring out all these songs for YouTube. Alrighty. And I also have a cat, but she did not sign the waiver to be seen in the video, so I'll have to leave her out. Alright, Mario asks, what string brand and gauge do you use? For electric and acoustic, steel string acoustic, I use the Darrell strings. I used their standard EXL, 45, I don't know what it was. It's on my Strat, I've recently gone down to 9 gauge strings. Used to use 10, but, and on the Music Man, I use 10 gauge because the strings just naturally feel a little looser on there. So, and the Strat was just a little bit, as I get older, I need the lighter strings. And I use pretty much light gauge strings for their acoustic strings, or phosphor bronze, I believe. For classical strings, I use the Darrell, and I'm kind of experimenting with other companies now too, so I haven't settled on that yet. But I usually use like medium gauge strings for those, or regular tension. Reinhard says, to recreate your AxeFX sound from your YouTube video for Money for Nothing tone on them. She's trying to recreate it. Is there a chance you could share your original Axe patch on the Axe Exchange? I don't have the AxeFX anymore. I actually sold it to the guys in Bad Omens, the band. I don't know if you guys know that band. Kind of a new modern metal band. Really cool band too. So I sold it to those guys. I don't have it anymore. I'm using a Line 6 Pod HD500X now, so I don't really have access to the Axe patch. Sorry. Tom asked, Carl, you have a great collection of guitars. What was your first guitar, and how old were you when you first started playing? First guitar was a Kramer Focus 1000 black. Man, it looked amazing Christmas morning. But it was all black, and that's about when I was about 10 years old. Matthias asked, hey Carl, the question everybody wants answered is ACDC or Guns N' Roses. I'm going to get killed for this one either way. So they're both great, amazing. I love watching ACDC live videos a lot, especially. I love the energy. But if I had to listen to just an actual album, probably Guns N' Roses. If I was going to listen to a band like Appetite for Destruction, Use Your Illusion, it's just incredible. But I like ACDC a lot too. Marcel asked, never seen you sing in a video. Do you sing at all while playing guitar, or maybe just backing vocals or anything? I've sung in backing vocals in bands. I actually sang lead vocals a long time ago. I hate it. I'm not a big fan of my singing voice, so I don't really want it documented on videos seen by millions of people. So that's why I don't. But I can sing. I can sing on pitch. I can hold a tune, but I don't like the quality of my voice. Do you have a favorite? Christopher asked, do you have a favorite singer, and do I sing yourself? So I already answered that one. But the favorite singer, probably Frank Sinatra. I love listening to a lot of his stuff, especially his more mellow albums, songs for Only the Lonely and stuff like that, those albums. And Nat King Cole I like. So I like a lot of the older guys. If it's like rock, metal guys, probably Sebastian Bach. I think he's really great. John asks, Carl, is how is your hearing since the accident you had? Hope all is good. On a personal note, you're the best guitar instructor online without a doubt. Well, thank you, man. Um, I don't know if you guys, I was doing these live shows back in the summer, and I started having issues with my hearing where I actually lost my hearing for a little bit. And it's actually come back a couple times. Doctors say I have like weak eustachian tubes, whatever that is. But it's kind of working itself out, and I know what it is when it happens, and everything just kind of gets cloudy hearing, and I can't really transcribe music. It's just started happening this year. I don't know why, but hopefully it'll just stop. Last time it happened, it just went away on its own. So hopefully without any medication like I had to do before. Sharath asks, when I play solos and stuff like melodies, I'm using only my forefinger, middle, and ring finger to play because the pinky doesn't go down. Almost all players do. It plays it plays with the pinky up while using those three fingers. Does that hinder my playing, or is it just natural? You know, Sharath, if you want to send me a video of you playing, just email it to me at the contact form on my website, and I'll be able to answer it better that way. I can't really answer if I can't see it. But hopefully we'll figure it out. Andres asks, hi Carl, when you travel for gigs, do you have to send your guitars like checked baggage down the seats? If yes, is it expensive? Do you buy tickets directly through the airline? I'm going to have to move to another country and have 2 guitars and a bass, and I'm definitely not going to sell. Traveling with guitars sucks. I mean, they've made laws the past couple of years that airlines are supposed to allow you to bring it and you know, up to with like a carry-on, but they also seem to be able to ignore it whenever they want to too. So it's kind of, you might get lucky as long as you can get it. I have checked a guitar only once in the underground thing. Guitar did not, it was a classical guitar too. The guitar did not get damaged. The case did though. It broke, a couple of locks got broken off the case. So I said never again. Basically what I do, travel electric guitars usually not that difficult. You can get them into the overhead bins, which is just a cool like slim gig bag. They usually don't complain about that, especially if people can put suitcases on top of it. But when it comes to like classical, I just have a travel guitar that literally disassembles into like a little bag, and then I put it back together when I get there. And it sounds horrible, and it doesn't play that great, but at least I'm not taking something that's valuable to me when I'm just trying to keep my chops up on the road. I don't do any gigging where I have to travel to. So it's usually like vacations and stuff that I want to keep my chops together. So it doesn't have to be the greatest guitar. And if it did get destroyed, you know, I really wouldn't care too much. Scott asks, how long did it take you to get good on guitar? How many hours, and what techniques did you learn for dexterity and muscle strength? You know, how some people think good is just being able to strum a G chord. Some people, you need to play like Yngwie before you're considered good. It's really, it's all about, you know, having fun with it. When I was a kid, I learned some songs, but I really focused on technique and probably not the greatest thing in the world to do, but I really focused on building my chops, and I would create these exercises to build my technique ability. A lot of those exercises are actually in my guitar technique courses on my website. So I have like an alternate picking course, it's like 23 videos. So a lot of those exercises are in that. Job, your name is Job. He asked, what is your thought on George Lynch or Dimebag Darrell? They're both incredible. Dimebag, I think, is the greatest metal guitarist ever. George Lynch, he's one of the funnest players to listen to and watch. There used to be this every Saturday night, they used to have some, I forget what channel it was, like one of the main networks had like at 11 o'clock at night, showed a few bands live and showed them playing like, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 songs live. And I remember they did one with Lynch Mob, and I taped it. I watched that thing over and over again. It was so fun to watch him play. He's got the coolest guitar style. So they're both just incredible and very unique guitarists. They're both amazing to me. Anish says, hey Carl, love your videos and your lessons are amazing. I want to start playing metal songs like Blackened that are incredibly fast paced. Do you have any tips on improving picking hand accuracy at those speeds? If you watch, I think on this specific channel, I have some exercises on speed bursts. Those, even for the fast downstroke stuff or the alternate pick lead stuff, that speed burst work the best, I think. So check those out. So those lessons out. Bilal asks, "Hey Carl, I'm 35 years old and I've been fondling with guitars for the last 10 years, but never really gave it good time. So you're fondling your guitar and you're giving it a good time. Oh. So I'm at best I am mediocre at best. Is it too late for me to start taking it seriously? I've heard that learning music is easier when you're young and have more brain cells, but does it get difficult as you age, especially when you have depression and anxiety and a long list of persons you wish were dead? Is it too late?" Oh, wow. Well, yeah, it's just less fondling, more practicing. That'll help. But no, don't worry about 35 years old is not old. Still have a very active mind that people are, can do brain surgery or whatever. That's just, don't pay attention to that. You can learn anything if you apply yourself to it. Doesn't matter what your age is until your brain quits working. Maybe when you're very elderly, but don't worry about it. Your hands will break down before your brain does. Rizel asks, "What is the most difficult guitar song or solo you have played to date?" It's probably classical guitar oriented stuff. So, but I would say for rock guitar, Hangar 18 was pretty hairy. Cliffs of Dover, even though I got pretty used to the style. Eugene Strickbag was a little different. I'm talking about songs that I've actually taught on the site. They're probably the most difficult lessons I'm trying to compare it to. Those would probably be the most difficult, I think. Tao asked, "If you ever get a chance to play alongside any guitarist, who would it be?" Probably Steve Vai, because he seems like a fun guy to hang out with. Klepto, he asked, "Can I do tremolo picking on a steel string guitar without having nails?" You can. Steel string finger picking is something I'm not as good as like on nylon string, because I practice fingerstyle on nylon string 99% of the time. So when I go to a steel string, the strings are so much closer together and this tension is so different. It's difficult for me. However, that's if all you play are steel string acoustic or electric or whatever it is you're playing on, you'll get used to that, and maybe nylon string will be difficult for you. You'll see that even if you're not using nails, your contact points for finger picking will develop. Like I have nails because I play classical guitar and I like the tone of it. But nails on steel strings sometimes don't sound that great. So I understand why you don't want to grow them out. Your fingertips will develop calluses, which will help control the string. And then, just adapt your tremolo technique. There shouldn't be no reason you can't do it there. Angel asks, or Angel, "Do you do tutorials for only songs and bands you like, or do you teach songs that people request, i.e. modern metal?" I do things that people request. Sometimes I'm not familiar with the bands, so I do less of them. It really depends on how much time I have to get invested in learning some new artists and their songs. I go back and forth. So if I'm doing a lot of work on my premium courses, I might just kind of do songs that are easy, I'm familiar with, I can get done quick. And sometimes I have more time, I can spend more time on the songs, and I go, okay, I'm gonna go transcribe this crazy instrumental, for a week, But so it depends. But it does come from requests. A lot of requests. Not that I respond to all the requests, but I do read them, so I can see them. But I just can't promise anything until the day of, I guess. "Hey Carl, I've been playing." Brian asks, "I've been playing for a number of years, and although more consistently over the last year, often torn. Should it be focusing more on technique, scales, chords, etc., or more just learning songs from other artists that I enjoy that push my skill limit a bit?" I highly recommend doing both. I think you should have a section of your practice where you just focus on technique. Say the beginning, if you have an hour of practice, spend 30 minutes of it or 20 minutes of it just working on technique, building your speed, doing those speed bursts, your accuracy, developing your speed, learning new techniques, challenging your hands to get better. And then it'll make playing music more second nature because you're just used to that technique. And then you learn songs that have something to do with that technique you learned. Like if you're practicing sweep picking in your technique workout, then go try to learn an Yngwie Malmsteen song or something that has that. Apply what you've been practicing. Let's make it a song that you really enjoy. So it's always important that you're playing stuff that you enjoy. And so I think you should do a little bit of both. Oh, and ask, what is my favorite Metallica song? Probably Fade to Black. I don't know, but it really depends on what I'm listening to at the moment. Zoe says, oh, she's got a couple questions. You're the best guitar teacher, and you sit beside God in your guitar skills. Thank you for teaching us. God can probably get through Cliffs of Dover a little bit smoother than me, but thank you. And number one, she says, you've had beautiful long hair before. Why did you cut it, and how long did you keep it? Well, I guess you saw one of those live shows. Maybe we'll throw a picture up of my long hair days. I cut my hair in summer of 2003. So I was in metal bands. You had to have long. I had long black hair to my waist, but I cut it because it's very uncomfortable. I never got a good night's sleep, and eventually you're like, you know what? I don't care about the image so much. I'm just gonna cut it. So life is a lot better now. But I had it for about probably 8 to 10 years. And then she also asked, I would like to find out which scale, which patterns of the solo riff or song are based on. I believe I should find out the key of the song first. However, sometimes the key is not the first chord in the song. Do I use the right method of finding out the chords in the song to match them with the common chord progression charts to find out the key of the song? Now, it's my opinion is the most important thing to be able to is to hear the key of the song. Then it gets very easy. So being able to tell where the key center is by listening to melodies, there's my cat, by listening to melodies, it just really, or songs, you can find the key center usually pretty quickly. It's just something you have to develop. So that's something that, like on my ear training course that I'm currently doing on my website, it's in the premium section of my website, we focus on that. We focus on being able to hear all the tones within a key and where they're at, including what the key note or the tonic of the key. And that tells you your key immediately, and it makes everything else easy to figure out after that. Peter asks, hi Carl, can you tell me if after a concept is taught, would you provide a backing track to practice over it? In my premium, that's what I do. Like my improvisation courses, I'll show a certain concept or scale or thing or progression that we're going to solo over, and yeah, provide a backing track to jam. It's usually the same backing track that I'm using when I'm giving demonstrations in the course. So yeah, those will be there. Aditya says, I'm playing for 2 years and I've seen a lot of improvement. I know a variety of chords and can play 2 to 3 solos. I went to buy an electric guitar because I'm starting out in acoustic, but I don't know if it's the correct time or should I spend more time in my instrument. See, this is a common misconception, I think, with a lot of parents of guitarists, of young students, and students themselves. For some reason, it's gotten to the acoustic guitar is the beginner instrument, and then the electric guitar is as you get more advanced. That's actually reversed. Playing acoustic guitar is 10 times more difficult than playing electric. So if it really depends on, if you want to start on an acoustic guitar, start on it because you want to play mostly acoustic music. Don't start on it because you think that's where you start. You're playing the same chords, the same techniques and everything. It's just that the string tension is a lot heavier and it's a lot more difficult instrument to play when you're playing an acoustic steel string. When you're playing an electric, you're usually going to move a lot. If you're listening to a lot of electric music, buy an electric guitar. If you want to play electric guitar, that's what you can buy, even if it's a first day guitar. And you're actually going to progress much quicker on an electric guitar because they're much easier to play than steel strings. But if you want to play mostly acoustic music, well, buy an acoustic. But that's what it should depend on, what music you want to play, not what should be a beginner instrument. So yes, if you want to play electric music, buy an electric. Matt asks, hi Carl, just want to say thanks for all your help. I've learned so much from you. Thanks. Are there any must-have guitar accessories you would recommend guitar players should own? One thing I actually use a lot, it's like these little clip-on. I got sent this by TC Electronic a while back. It's Polytune clip. I never used clip-on tuners, but then they sent me this to do a little review of. You might have seen the review video. And literally, this thing has not any guitar that I'm like practicing on. It's on the headstock the entire time. They're always on there now. So I'm just so used to being here, so I'm just look up and it tells me where it's at. It's a lot easier than like kind of plugging in or turning on a tuner. It's just so I would the clip-ons. They got some really nice ones. That's a really nice one. So something like that, I would probably be the essential one, I think. Owen, he asked, do you like your job? Yeah, Yeah, I do. It really beats. I don't have any other skills. I could be like a greeter at Walmart or something. Carl, you rock. Your lessons are the best by far. I was wondering if you ever had a job or has all your income come from playing lessons. Since I was 17 years old, I've been a guitar teacher except for about 6 months where when I moved out to Los Angeles and I didn't have any students. I worked at Guitar Center for like 5 or 6 months, and until I was kind of like, here, buy a guitar, and here's my card to take lessons. So when I got enough students, it took about 5 or 6 months. Then I just went back to just teaching. Um, so so anyway, that's yeah. For the most part, it's been all guitar. Chubby asks, what motivated you to learn guitar? Um, for the most part, when I was a small kid, but I loved music. But I was a small kid, and it was like literally when I entered high school, I was like 4'8". So I think I learned guitar just so I wouldn't get killed. So I had to make a lot of friends and be the guitar player in school, so the bigger kids, would protect me. But uh, I grew out of that physically and everything. But yeah, I guess it was just to me, it was like kind of an escape. I've always loved music, so um, it's just a great instrument. It's portable. You could take it anywhere. Um, and as I found I had a knack for it, so I just continued to pursue it at the expense of pretty much everything else in my life. But so hence I have no other skills. Anyway, all right, so that is it for the questions. I'm going to start doing some more lessons on this channel too. I think I'm going to do some examples of my premium lessons on here so you can see what's going on in that section on the website, stuff that's not available on YouTube. But continue asking your questions at Ask Carl, the Ask Carl page on the website, and I will see you guys maybe with a YouTube live session really soon. Bye-bye.